Honorable Chris, you wanted to give information to the Speaker and to the House? Yeah. But you can make amendments. Since there are more ministries still available, give Fungaro something, not... yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and the honorable members. I take the opportunity to congratulate you and the members. Now, Rule 15 of our Rules of Procedure speaks to the role and functions of the Leader of the Opposition. And in Sub-Rule 2, it states, the Leader of the Opposition shall, in consultation with his or her party leadership, appoint a shadow cabinet from members of the opposition in Parliament who shall have portfolios and functions that correspond to the portfolios and functions of cabinet ministers. So this presupposes that a shadow minister will be corresponding to a cabinet minister. So now if there is no cabinet minister for human rights, so who is he shadowing if you are opposition lead? So I think the leader of opposition should harmonize so that you respect the rules.
The one handling human rights is Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Yeah, for the government side. Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Bariomusi. Now, on the information you have, would you want to make some amendments?
Right, Honorable Speaker, in essence, we are putting, because human rights are very critical to us, so we are putting 2 shadow ministers in that docket. That's why we have the one of human rights as well. Because, you see, even according to reports of Uganda Human Rights Commission, the biggest perpetrator of human rights abuses is government and government institutions. I hope you read those reports. So we are saying we want to hold you accountable as government in that regard.
Procedure?
But you came and sat on our side. Why are you putting our side on procedure?
That's why he's raising procedure matter now.
Procedure. I thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I think you already ruled and guided on the matter of having a shadow minister for justice. You properly guided the leader of our opposition. So is he procedurally right to continue lamenting and insisting on that position? I thank you.
The Lope, you stick to the rules. Can we go to the next item? Now, apparently, when government brings a list for ministers, vice president, but the House debates, this one, they don't need to go to the appointments committee, how lucky they are. They don't need any debate. So the House has taken note, but with the reservation on human rights. Let that one be hanging, and you find that's the guidance I would give.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Yeah.
Let's sort it out very easily so that we don't have an unnecessary back and forth. The docket of security is where most of the human rights abuses get to be committed. So the Honourable Caps Fungalo is our shadow minister for security. Thank you.
The House has taken note. Let's go to the next item.
Item number 4.
Oh, there is... Let's handle it after.
You don't have to pay upfront just to get your music on streaming platforms. With Rude Note, distribution is 100% free from your first release to your 50th. We help independent artists like you get their music on Spotify, Apple Music, and more without subscription or release fees eating into their budget. That frees you up to spend your money where it really matters: promotion, ads, content, and growing your audience. On top of that, with our free plan, you get to keep 85% of your royalties, and you always stay in control of your music. Root Note was built for artists who want flexibility, transparency, and freedom, not contracts or pressure. If that sounds like you, head over to rootnote.com and start releasing your music for free.
176, 354 from the UK Export Finance and Bank and Citibank for the development of solar-powered irrigation system project phase 2.
Honorable members, Article 159(2) of the 1995 Constitution requires parliamentary approval for government borrowing. Aware that we are yet to constitute the Standing Committee on National Economy, and yet we are faced with the urgency of this particular loan request, I will invoke Rule 8.1 of the Rules of Procedure of this House and have this particular request directly considered by the House. Ordinarily, we are supposed to have treated any such request to Rule 162 of the Rules of Procedure. However, we are faced with the reality that that was not envisaged by the framers of these rules, hence recourse to Rule 8.1 of the Rules of Procedure. Therefore, pursuant to Section 34(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2025 and Rule 58 of the Rules of Procedure, I will now invite the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to move the motion seeking the approval of the House. But before he comes, the situation that we are faced with, we don't have the committees. That is a reality of fact. And this loan is as important as water itself. Minister of Finance, move the motion. Before the motion?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
But, Honorable Bandek, you don't access the microphone before you are given. No. Please, let's respect each other.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I want to appreciate you that you have quoted the rules and you have highlighted that probably this loan is very urgent. But Right Honorable Speaker, while in Kololo, you promised that this House is going to go back to the foundations. And among the foundations we've been looking forward to is for this House to follow its own rules to begin with. Right Honorable Speaker, we are in the formation stages of this House. We do not have the committees of Parliament, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, what do we lose? And we want the Minister, probably the Minister may begin from there, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, what is the procedural issue you are raising? Because if you are referring to the rules, I have not cited the rules of Kenyan Parliament. I have cited the rules of procedure of Ugandan Parliament. I would be glad if you can come and say, Speaker, what you've cited is not the position. I would benefit from that.
Thank you very much, Right
I said
Honorable
Rule 8.1, and is it not applicable?
No, Right Honorable Speaker, Rule 162 requires us to take much of these matters to the committee that is not available. Right Honorable Speaker, it's not sufficient to just tell us that we don't have committees, yet the people who are supposed to formulate the committees are available. Can't we begin by formulating the committees? The other side is fully constituted, this side is fully constituted. Okay. Right Honorable Speaker, we formulate the committees and you know which committee is going to deal with this particular loan. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to say, this particular loan, I was here in the previous Parliament, Right Honorable Speaker. When we acquired,
which loan now? We are just going to move.
When we acquired,
why don't you wait and that would form part of your debate on the loan, for or against? Let's first, the procedural issues that, please.
Procedure issue, why don't we formulate?
The question you put is that the committee is not here. That's a question of fact. This is purely one of the first sittings we are having, and if you can listen to the motion and the justification, this House will be at liberty to make a decision whether this loan satisfies the agency or not. So these procedural issues you are raising now are very premature. The Minister of Finance, the Minister is well guided. I have just guided Honorable Paul Muir. Let the Minister present the motion. You will have good opportunity to debate this motion, for or against.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
The Minister has to move the motion to provide us a platform where you will say everything. Honorable Paul Muiro, Saba Christo.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Just hold on a bit, yeah. Allow the motion. Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Whereas Article 159 of the Constitution empowers government to borrow from any source as authorized by or under Act of Parliament, and whereas Section 34 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171, vests the authority to raise money by loan for and on behalf of government, solely in the Minister responsible for finance, with the approval of Parliament by resolution, aware that the government's request to borrow up to euros 168,976,354 from the UK Export Finance and the Citibank for the development of solar power irrigation systems project phase 2 has been laid before this Parliament. Now therefore be it resolved that Parliament authorizes government to borrow up to euros 168,776,354 from the UK Export Finance and Citibank for the development of solar-powered irrigation system project phase 2. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Is the motion seconded? Seconded by the Vice President, Prime Minister, Government Chief Whip, Minister of Agriculture who knows the value of water to the crops. Leader of opposition is Honorable Kefa, Honorable Alenyo, Honorable Wakida, everyone, Honorable the whole House. Okay, for the record, by the majority of the members of the House. Can you justify your motion? Please, procedure does not come before justification. It can come any time when you, I know this thing very well. Justify.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the proposed project will develop 427 irrigation systems across the country aimed at enhancing rural incomes through increased production and productivity arising from irrigated agriculture for coffee growing. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda cleared this project for implementation in his letter dated 15th December 2021 under reference number PO/10 addressed to the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and Minister of Water and Environment. and a copy I have attached as annex. Mr. Speaker, to date, phase 1 of the project has achieved over 99% physical completion, with 434 systems developed across the country, delivering verifiable economic benefits countrywide, including the following: 148 rural water supply systems benefiting 98,521 households and 433,992 individuals. 83 urban water supply systems serving 107,390 households and 472,519 people. And 203 irrigation systems irrigating 2,000 acres while supporting 554 households and 2,436 residents. Collectively, these initiatives have enhanced water security and productivity for 206,465 households and a total population of 908,447 across the country. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, it is important to note that phase 2 of the project had been envisaged to cover additional 700 sites. However, to preserve the vital fiscal space for other key projects that the government is implementing, the project was rescoped to fit within these fiscal parameters, optimizing 427 systems. Mr. Speaker, the objectives of my coming here of the motion is to brief Parliament on the following. 1, to note the required financing of up to euros 168,976,354 shillings, 354 euros from UKF and Citibank for the implementation of the development of solar-powered irrigation system project phase 2, and to seek your authority, Right Honorable Speaker and the House, to proceed to borrow up to euros 168,976,354 euros from UKF and Citibank for implementation of the development of the solar-powered irrigation system project phase 2. Mr. Speaker, I now come to the justification, strategic alignment, and the financing terms. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, as the effects of climate change continue to escalate, the available water resources for agricultural production are constantly decreasing. Currently, farmers are losing a lot of crops due to prolonged dry seasons, and this in turn affects their livelihoods. The National State of Environment Report, NEMA 2024, indicated that on average 800,000 hectares of crops per year are destroyed by climate-related events. The drought that occurred in 2000 resulted in damage to crops estimated at US $47 million, which is approximately 3% of the value of all cash and food crops. While between 2010 and 2013, damages and losses in agriculture sector caused by the 2010-11 rainfall deficit were estimated to US $907 million and included crop production losses, animal death, livestock production losses, and higher production costs. Irrigation is therefore one of the responses to the adverse effects of climate change in the agricultural sector, and if no action is taken, the cost implications will remain high. For example, between 2010 and 2050, damages are projected at US$ 140 to 260 billion, arising from failure to apply irrigation. The need for irrigation across the country is therefore very crucial. Securing availability of water for agriculture will guarantee food security and the livelihood of the farmers, including the most vulnerable groups, and addresses the need of the very poor in society. Well-developed irrigation infrastructure and good water management can increase yields by 2 to 5 times for most crops. Mr. Speaker, the project's justification. Uganda's agricultural performance has been constrained by frequent occurrences of severe drought and flooding, particularly over the last 20 years. In 2010, drought accounted for 38% loss in beans harvest and 36% loss in maize harvest, thereby contributing to food insecurity and poverty. I wish to inform honorable colleagues that a study by the Office of the Prime Minister estimated the loss and damage of Uganda shillings 2.8 trillion, equivalent of US dollars 1.2 billion, to the Ugandan economy, equivalent to 7.5% of the country's GDP in 2010 due to erratic rains. According to the Status of Environment Report 2014, on average, 800,000 hectares of crop are destroyed every year by climate-related events. Coffee has been identified as a priority commodity due to its strategic importance to Uganda's economy and livelihoods. Uganda is currently the second largest coffee producer in Africa after Ethiopia and the leading coffee exporter on the continent. Coffee remains the country's leading source of foreign exchange earnings, generating approximately US dollars 999.8 million from the export of 6.06 million 60 kilogram bags between March 2023 and February 2024. In addition, approximately 1.8 million Ugandans directly depend on coffee as their primary source of livelihood, with the sector dominated by smallholder farmers operating on less than 1 hectare of land. However, coffee productivity remains highly vulnerable to rainfall variability, prolonged drought spells, and increasing climate change impacts, particularly during critical crop growth stages such as flowering and cherry development. Honorable members, despite Uganda's substantial agricultural and water resource potential, irrigation development in the country remains very relative to the estimated national potential. Uganda's irrigation potential is estimated at approximately 3.03 million hectares. However, only about 23,595 hectares, which is 0.78%, representing less than 1% of the total potential, are currently under irrigation. Consequently, agricultural production remains predominantly dependent on rainfall, exposing farmers to seasonal rainfall variability and climate-related production risks. Limited access to irrigation infrastructure has therefore continued to constrain agricultural productivity. Agricultural productivity, commercialization, and the ability of farmers to undertake year-round production. Solar-powered pumping has demonstrated up to 70% saving in energy costs when compared to previously diesel-powered pumping systems, and therefore has been prioritized for this project. Records from towns implemented under the Energy for Rural Transformation with funding from the World Bank. Are providing safe water at very low tariffs of 1 to 1.5 Uganda shillings per liter. This is because of very low operation and maintenance cost requirements. In addition, the adoption of solar-powered pumping systems contributes to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions and supports national and global efforts towards climate change mitigation through the transition to cleaner and renewable energy technologies. I now come to the project objectives. Goal is to contribute to increased yields of coffee production through provision of water for irrigation. Objective is to establish solar-powered irrigation systems across the country in support of coffee farmers. The project outcome is increased access to water for irrigation as well as improved coffee production and productivity. The project description, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the project shall target the development of 427 irrigation systems to enhance coffee production in the project areas across the country. The total potential irrigable area is to be developed in about 4,768 acres. Each system has an average of 11 acres with the potential to be expanded to 20 acres and consists of a water abstraction system, transmission mains, solar pumping system, storage tank, and on-farm irrigation infrastructure. Each system shall serve progressive farmers, organized farmer groups, benefiting an average of 6 households. An average of 6 households, that is 27 people. Annex 2, Mr. Speaker, indicates the list of proposed sites per district across the country. Additionally, each system will ensure capacity building of beneficiary communities for operation and maintenance of the installed facilities. The project will leverage and strengthen existing extension service infrastructure at sub-county, parish, and district levels in Uganda, working through the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Extension Programs, and the Coffee Department. District and sub-county agriculture officers will participate in farmer identification, mobilization, and ongoing agronomic support, ensuring that technical guidance on irrigation and coffee production is contextually relevant and delivered by trusted local actors who possesses deep knowledge of smallholder realities. By formally integrating government extension personnel into the project infrastructure, rather than relying on parallel or temporary systems, the intervention builds institutional ownership, creates an accountable pathway for knowledge transfer, and addresses phase 1 lessons. The project benefits. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, the project is expected to directly benefit about 2,562 households, translating to approximately 11,785 direct beneficiaries. A key focus of the intervention is improvement of coffee production, where yields per tree are projected to increase from the current average of 1.3 kilograms of chiboko to approximately 6.5 kilograms under irrigation. This improvement is anticipated to result in an annual coffee yield of about 8,893 tons, thereby contributing significantly to increased agricultural output, rural livelihoods, and economic growth. At the project level, the intervention is projected to generate approximately Uganda shilling 66.7 billion in average annual revenue to the beneficiaries. The project is also expected to produce approximately 5,336 tons of fair average quality coffee, equivalent to about 88,939 bags of 60 kgs annually. At the household level, the intervention is expected to significantly improve incomes and households with the average one expected to realize at an annual revenue of about Uganda shillings 26 million. In terms of productivity, the average household is expected to produce approximately 2.1 tons of fair average quality coffee annually, and equivalent to about 35 bags of fair average quality coffee per year. Site readiness and rigorous selection are fundamental for Phase 2, drawing on practical lessons from Phase 1. Prior to any works, beneficiaries are required to sign formal land consent agreements following extensive stakeholder engagement with communities, local government authorities, and leadership structures to secure social license, prevent future disputes, and foster long-term ownership. Water for production. Regional teams conduct thorough field verification of all proposed sites to confirm they fully satisfy the project's established site selection criteria before inclusion in the project scope. Over 627 potential beneficiaries have already been profiled based on rigorous criteria in partnership with the Department of Coffee, formerly UCDA, district local governments, Operation Wealth Creation, and individual applications, and continuous assessment are ongoing. Selection of sites for irrigation. The selection criteria considerations include: number one, there should be access to a potential source of water within 500 meters of the beneficiary. Number two, the irrigable land area to be served will range from 10 to 20 acres. Number three, the farmer should have a coffee plantation that is at least 1 year old. Number four, the site can be individual or communal, with consideration for commercial coffee villages for big systems. Number five, the farmer should possess proof of land ownership or land user rights. Number six, there should be no encumbrances along the outline of the proposed scheme infrastructure, i.e. within the distance from the water source to the command area. Number seven, the land management of the field should be adequate, showing evidence of good agronomic practices and sanitation. Number eight, the farmer should not have benefited from the project's Phase 1 interventions and should not be under the planned development of the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa project, UGIFT, and Uganda Climate Smart Agricultural Transformation Project. Number nine, the route to the farm should be accessible to facilitate construction activities. Number 10, equity considerations in line with the ministry's policy of some for all and not all for some. Number 11, the youth, women, and organized coffee farmers groups will be given special attention. The project, Mr. Speaker, has the following components. Component 1, consultancy services for design review, construction supervision, and complementary support service provisions for solar-powered irrigation systems. And the unit cost here is 13,678.81 euros. 13,678.81. Component 2 is design, supply, and installation of solar powered irrigation systems across the country, phase 2, and the unit cost is 337,229.16 euros. What are the loan terms and conditions? Mr. Speaker, the financing for the development of solar-powered irrigation systems, project phase 2, will be primarily through a loan covered by the United Kingdom Export Finance, UKF, worth euros 148,509,420. And this is inclusive of the insurance premium of euros 18,979,504, equivalent to 12.78% of the loan, and a commercial facility of euros 20,466,934 from Citibank. It is important to note, Mr. Speaker, that the export credit agencies, e.g. UKF, do not directly lend to sovereign countries like Uganda. They provide the export cover required, and commercial agencies like Citibank arrange the financing as further explained below. The commercial banks charge fees for providing such services. I now detail the particulars of the export credit agency facility, which is 90% UKF cover. The loan facility, as I had mentioned earlier, euros 148,509,420. This includes the insurance premium of 12% or 18,979,504. The tenure is 13 years, up 13 years, with a grace period of 3 years, and the interest rate is 3.65% per annum, and this is fixed, and the commitment fees is 0.2% per annum on drawn loan amount, and the facility agency fee is euros 20,000 per annum, and upfront fees is 1.15% flat on the facility amount, and this comes to euros 1,707,858.33. Now, the commercial facility from Citibank, the loan amount is euros 20,466,934. This is 10% of the commercial contract amount and the owner's engineer. The tenure here is up to 7 years. The grace period is 2 years. The margin is 4.95% per annum. The interest rate is 6 months Euribor of 2.55% plus margin of 4.95%, which gives 7.5%. The commitment fees is 1.25% per annum on committed but undrawn amount. Mr. Speaker, I wish to note that the RIBO is variable rate that keeps changing. As at 31st May 2026, a 6-month RIBO was 2.55%. Mr. Speaker, now I come to the project readiness. The feasibility studies for the project have been undertaken. The project is a design and build, which implies that the contractor, who is Nexus Green Limited, will do the final studies, designs, and construction. The comprehensive economic analysis update in April 2026 confirmed the project's feasibility yielding an economic internal rate of return of 14.02% and economic net present value of euros 29.83 million. To ensure adherence to the PIMS policy, the Ministry of Water and Environment has secured an owner's engineer, SGAPI Consulting Engineers Limited, to exercise strict technical oversight over the contractor during the design and construction. The loan and the current debt situation of the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, as at the end of 2025, Uganda's total debt stock amounted to US dollars 34.86, which is an equivalent of 52.7% of GDP. The table is there. I invite honorable colleagues to look at the breakdown of our debt, and the source is from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Mr. Speaker, in line with the Debt Sustainability Analysis Report of December 2025, which reports debt statistics on the financial year basis, Uganda's debt remains within sustainable limits, with the total debt stock at 32.24 billion, approximately 116 trillion for financial year 2024-2025. This comprises of US dollars 15.46 billion, an equivalent of 55.6 trillion in external debt, and US dollars 16.79 billion, an equivalent of 60.35 trillion in domestic debt. Public debt as a share of GDP is estimated at 50.86, aligning with the targets in the Charter of Fiscal Responsibility. This project is already included in our debt sustainability analysis and in the fiscal framework for the budget for financial year 2026-2027 and the medium-term fiscal framework. Consequently, this borrowing will not breach Uganda's long-term debt sustainability threshold. Mr. Speaker, I wish now to present to the House the measures we have to manage debt. Mr. Speaker, to manage and reduce our debt levels, the government has adopted fiscal consolidation measures that include increased revenue mobilization, particularly through the implementation of the domestic revenue mobilization strategy, as well as controlling and reducing government borrowing, expenditure, and prioritizing interventions in the growth-driving sectors. In addition, the government is implementing the Public Investment Management System policy and strategy, which aims to streamlining the preparation, appraisal, approval, management of all government projects, and ensuring that these projects are ready before being presented to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I now come to other conditions attached to the loan.
The other conditions, I think you can
The
refer
other,
members.
they can,
This is about documentation.
yes.
Can you go to your conclusion? The rest can be members, you can look at them.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, with your guidance, I now come to the conclusion, and I wish to conclude as follows. In light of the above, I request Parliament to, 1, note the need to borrow up to euros 168,976,354 from the UKF and Citibank for the development of solar-powered irrigation systems project phase 2. 2, note the financing terms for the loan facilities of up to euro 168,976,354 from the UKF and City.
Turn images into stunning videos effortlessly. Create today.
$168,976,354 from UKF and Citibank for the development of solar-powered irrigation systems phase 2 project. Mr. Speaker, before I yield the floor, I wish to lay the accompanying documents as per the rules. Mr. Speaker, this request is accompanied by the agreement between Government of the Republic of Uganda, represented by Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and the lenders, who are Citibank and UKF. I beg to lay, Right Honorable Speaker.
Let the record capture that.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the report on public debt, grants, guarantees, and other financial liabilities as at the end of December 2025. I beg to lay. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay on the table the performance of projects under the Ministry of Water and Environment from 2016 to 30th April 2025. I beg to lay.
Let the record capture.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay on table the clearance by Cabinet, clearance by His Excellency the President on behalf of Cabinet, clearing the loan to proceed and clearing that Parliament goes ahead and considers the loan. And this letter is dated June 8th, 2026. I beg to lay.
Let the record capture that.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay on the table the feasibility report which was done for this project by Ministry of Water and Environment. I beg to lay. I also beg to lay on table the sector performance report of all projects being implemented in the sector, through externally financed resources, including grants, as at March 2026. I beg to lay. Mr. Speaker, I have also submitted in soft copy the following documents. Commercial contract, which is the project appraisal document, the environmental report, the procurement plan, the resettlement action plan, the project implementation plan, and the development committee approval for evidence of consistency with the national development plan. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, are now open the debate on the motion, and the debate will be limited to 30 minutes.
Clarification.
We are going to debate.
Clarification.
Raise your procedural matters in your submission when you are debating.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
And I'm beginning with this side. This side, you don't rise up. I don't want to. I'm beginning with this side, and not necessarily that opposition. I will pick any members here. And Honorable Namboze.
Yes, sir.
You, my MP, please begin the debate.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
And in your debate, you should be clear whether you are for or against, for the record of Parliament.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, it was your ruling that I will raise this procedural matter after the justification has been done. And allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, to inform you that I've read Lulu 81, upon which you based to allow the presentation of this motion. And Right Honorable Speaker, it talks about issues that are in doubt, that whenever there is a matter and the Parliament finds itself in doubt and that matter is not provided for by the rules, that Mr. Speaker, you become the rule and you guide the House. But I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that our rules of procedure.
Restate your statement.
Lulu, I was summarizing the provisions of Lulu 81.
Everybody here has a role, your side, and we have the patience to read it together with you.
Lulu
don't summarize.
Lulu 81 provides that in case of any doubt and for any question of procedure not provided in these rules, the Speaker shall decide, having regard to the practices of the House, the constitutional provisions, and the practices of other commonwealth parliaments, insofar as the practice may be applicable to the Parliament of Uganda. But I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, that this particular matter is provided for under our Rule 159. So, Mr. Speaker, with your guidance, is it proper for a matter that is provided for in our rules of procedure to be handled under Rule 81? More so, Right Honorable Speaker, when the matter we are handling.
Did you say Rule 159?
162, Right Honorable Speaker. If you allow me to read also. Rule 162.
Actually, if you read 162, you would not raise the procedure matter. But you go ahead and read. Please.
I'm reading it.
Yes, yeah.
Rule 162, Right Honorable Speaker. Rule 160, I beg to. It talks about it is 162. The Speaker shall commit the proposal to loans or guarantee request to the Committee of National Economy and to the relevant sectoral committee under which the subject matter of the request follows. That is Rule 162.2, and all the other rules that follow they are under Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue we are handling touches Article 159 of the Constitution, powers of government to borrow or lend. And Mr. Speaker, if we are to go without a committee, or we are to disregard some of the provisions, are we also suspending the provisions of the Constitution as provided for under Article 159? Right Honorable Speaker, I beg that you guide me, not that I don't support the loan, but because this loan is so important to us, I would like to have it processed under our rules of procedure and under the Constitution of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg for your guidance.
Thank you very much, and let me do this again. Please sit down. I did this at the beginning. I'm very much alive to 162. And when you read 162, it talks about it's mandatory. And 162.1 says the minister responsible for finance. You can refer to that. And then 2 mandates me that I would directly refer the matter to the National Committee of National Economy. Is it there? So, since it's not there, I went to Rule 8. The framers of these rules never envisaged the situation. Please, don't intimidate me by standing. Never envisaged the situation that at the beginning of the Parliament, before all the committees are constituted, that we shall have a very urgent, relevant, important motion request for loan like this one. That's why I said we go for Rule 8. And this should be able to guide us. I love to play by the rules. And here I'm playing by the rules. There is no single provision of the rules, either of the Constitution, that has been breached. So the guidance is we are doing this way. Please, you know the rules. You don't argue with the Speaker.
We are going for debate.
The honorable members, I want to comfort you all when I got this request. The request is time barred, that we can't even push it by 1 day. And the committee, now I'm the one telling you, we cannot form the committee tomorrow. We have the budget. The time barred, further guidance, former Attorney General, now Minister of Defense.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, as we clamor to follow the rules, let us follow them to the letter. Rule 8.2 says the Speaker's ruling under Rule 1 shall become part of the rules of procedure until such a time when the substantive amendment of these rules is made in respect to the ruling. You cannot deal with it. He's finished. The Speaker has given a ruling. Even if he's wrong, it is part of the rules.
And for order, and for your information, in this case, the Speaker is right. In this case, the Speaker is right. I want the lawyers on this side. Honorable Paul Mwiru, you are beginning to debate.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to make a contribution to the motion But before I do that, I want to state from the onset that actually the facts of the loan as packaged, the loan has no problem. We have a problem with the parliament being stampeded. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to draw your attention to Rule 182. 182, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, this rule constitutes the business committee of this House, where I am a member, where you are a member, the Deputy Speaker, the leader of government business, the leader of opposition, and 2 independent members. The import and the chairpersons of committees, yes. Right Honorable Speaker, the import of that rule is that whereas you are the Speaker, and that one there's no doubt about that, that there is a business committee of this House, that when business comes from wherever it comes from, it must go to the business committee. And the composition of the business committee is by law. This provision, the rule, sets up the business committee. Right Honorable Speaker, the manner in which we are proceeding, first, there is an Auditor General's report, which questions the first loan, and it raises a number of issues, and because the movers of this motion know that if we were to go through the normal scrutiny of processing a loan, our committee would question that loan. Because when you look at Article 90, it establishes the committees of Parliament, and the rationale is for efficient running of Parliament. So the question now is, I didn't want to look like I'm questioning where the Speaker got this business without calling us as a business committee so that we deal with this business and then have a discussion and guide, because like they're setting up, ask the members of business committee.
Can I help? You want to know where the business came from? The motion is raised by Minister of Finance. That's where the business came from. You know, the roles of the business committee, where I was a member for several years, is very clear, and you know it. It's not on a day-to-day, and how many times are the business committee, I know you are a new government opposition whip, you are real dying out to have that first meeting. Very soon, when the whole committees are... Please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
You are dying out to be in the first meeting. We are going to have that meeting when the House is fully constituted with the committee chairpersons.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on the close reading of Article 159(2), it vests the powers to borrow in government with approval of Parliament. So we can't do it casually because people are running away from our Committee of Parliament questioning this loan. I will implore you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I started by saying that the loan has no problem. But there are things which the movers of the motion of the loan are running away from. With me, I have Auditor General's report. Right Honorable Speaker. It raises, Honorable Speaker.
Order. Well, I didn't want us. Well, this is, we are taking over. We are taking off. Taking off with the big plane, there is need for tax. This, you allow this, so that's why I was not entertaining orders.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Yeah.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Yeah.
Right Honourable Speaker, the point of order I'm raising to my senior brother and around the council. He mentioned here that you are sitting here casually. It's on record. It is on record. The clerk can play. Right Honourable Speaker, is the Honourable Mwiru in order to say that this Parliament is sitting here casually when you have the Vice President, you have the Speaker, and all members, and even the leader of opposition? Is he in order to say that we are just sitting here casually?
Honorable Paul Muiru, this is not a leisure park. This is Parliament of Uganda. Nobody is here at this time casually. So I think you need to withdraw that matter for...
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I withdraw the statement in the context of my brothers, the way I understood it. Right Honorable Speaker, I wanted to summarize by saying that Dr. General's report of 2025, I have a copy here with me. It states that out of the 1,009 sites handed over by government to the contractor, 162, which is 16%, were marked as failed feasibility study stage, at the feasibility study stage. That's one. Two, that similarly, 58 schemes, which is 21 irrigation and 37 water supplies, failed at design phase, resulting into financial loss of 208,530 euros. That's Dr. General's report.
And when was it tabled here and adopted?
Right now, this is a report of 2025. Dr. General presented the report to Parliament, and it was supposed to be dealt with by the committee, the relevant committee, adopted by the House, and then the Minister of Finance would issue a Treasury memoranda to show action taken on these issues raised.
So this report has not been adopted by the House?
Honourable Speaker,
Auditor General's report, you have it in the committee, Accountability Committee, or it was brought here?
Honourable Speaker, as I took oath to defend the Constitution...
Clerk, can you establish when it was adopted here?
Honourable Speaker, Dr. General's report is a public document. It is raising a red flag. Honourable Speaker, you need to get me right. I said I have no problem. Personally, I'm a farmer, and I want to take benefit of this loan. But what the movers, the technical people are doing, it is to stampede the Parliament, so that there's no scrutiny over the loan. I would implore you, Honourable Speaker, finally, that I...
This is a song about a breakup. No, it shouldn't sound like heartbreak. More like taking control.
I don't need it. No, I don't need you. I know you're just a gum on my shirt.
Honorable Chirumira.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, given our budget constraints as a country, we have to borrow. But we have to borrow right and smart. Right Honorable Speaker, this particular loan is completely unconcessional, contrary to the laws of the land. Right Honorable Speaker, the Public Investment Financing Strategy 2022 maps financing options. On page 32 and on page 37, it is very categorical on programs we must borrow and the source of funding. This particular project, Right Honorable Speaker, under environment, climate change, land and water management, it states that we must borrow concessionally from grants, concessional loans, and government revenue. This particular loan, Right Honorable Speaker, from UKF and Citibanks are commercial loans, very expensive loans. If you look at the terms and the conditions of these loans, Right Honorable Speaker, they are equal to those of money lenders. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, this project we are borrowing for is one of the worst performing projects. In phase 1 of its implementation, many projects were incomplete, and as we speak now, it is redundant. There is no productivity from those projects. Right Honorable Speaker,
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The World Football Spectacle is here! From the vibrant cities of Canada, the passion of Mexico, and the grand stages of the United States, the FIFA World Cup 2026 is set to ignite the planet. Every goal, every save, every moment of glory, live and unforgettable on UBC TV and all its radio stations.
From the streets of Rio to the night and day.
Follow Africa's finest, football's biggest stars, and the battle for the most converted trophy in world football. Where legends rise, dreams come alive, and history is made. UBC is the home of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Stay tuned to UBC TV and all UBC's radio stations, bringing the world to Uganda, one match at a time.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen,
without looking at this agreement. The agreement has been laid now by the Minister of Finance. No one here. And, Right Honorable Speaker, let it be on record that me have declined, and the 12th Parliament has started from where the 11th Parliament was, passing loans without looking at the document, without looking at the various agreements. None of us have.
Honorable Masaba.
Yes.
You speak for yourself that you've not looked.
No, they have just been laid right now. Right Honorable Speaker.
Now, I have information that most of this is, I am quite patient, but patient enough to follow a debate, and a good debate. Honorable Masaba, some of these documents were uploaded. Some. Now, what can we have? Let him conclude his statement. He was raising something very pertinent, to the effect that there are some documents which are not listed.
Yes.
Not
Right
submitted.
Honorable, I've stated the documents, and the documents that have been laid. I have an iPad. I've been looking at the iPad. The agreement is not there. Let the clerk show us, or let the clerk give you, and you show me on the iPad where this agreement is. It's nowhere to be seen. So let us agree that as the 12th Parliament we are passing this, because you've said you cannot even push it for a day. Let's agree that we are passing this, and we are confirming to the public that as Parliament we pass loans without understanding them, without looking at the terms and conditions that are in this. Because the Minister's justification, this is not a contract.
Honorable Masaba, I don't want to interrupt you.
Yes.
But when you say what is in the agreement was reproduced in the statement of the Minister, what makes an agreement are terms and conditions. You've not looked at the terms and conditions of this law?
That is why I've stated documents like the loan repayment, there are things that are... That is why I'm stating that.
You've not seen?
The Minister's submission is 17 pages. The agreement alone could be about 300 pages. I've seen a big document like this. So, some of us are interested in reading the details. They said the devil is in the details.
Okay.
So, us passing
want
alone
the
by
details.
Minister's justification, Right Honourable Speaker, I believe it's not right. And as Parliament, my humble request, if permitted, I move a motion under Rule 61 that you give us time, you suspend House or adjourn House, and give us some time. We could come back at 2 after looking at some of those documents.
Debate.
No, I'm moving a motion without notice. A motion without notice under Rule 61.
First, can revise on that one. Can we have Honorable Sinas?
Right Honorable, I've moved a motion which I think you need to put up for question because we need to see who will vote to pass a loan without agreeing, without reading the agreement, and we do not just need to pass these loans the way they are. We want to understand them.
The motion is seconded? Yes. Do you want me to put a question? Yes.
Right Honorable, you put a question and we vote on it and see who will support to pass a loan without reading the agreement, who just wants to pass money.
I don't think that the way you were saying, you're blackmailing. Hello, can we get members sit down?
Right Honorable, I'm stating facts, I'm not black.
Can you sit down? Most of us have been a member here, and I thought I was a good member. I agree with you, Honorable Masaba, as far as you can say that you've not read all the details. And even if some of you are given 10 hours, still the details. What I need to appeal to you is that the details of the loan, the silent details of the loan, are captured in the motion. You cannot read the whole document and ignore the terms and conditions of the loan. This House would be at a loss if we approved the loan without knowing what are the terms and conditions. That is the preoccupation of this House. So for you to say, I want to put a motion that those who will pass the loan without reading, is like, yeah. Honorable Sinas?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand here to oppose the motion which the mover made, the Minister of Finance, under Rule 67.
You have 2 minutes.
Right Honorable Speaker, under Rule 67, yeah. I stand to support second Honorable Karimu's motion, which says that under Rule 67,
Honorable Member, there is no motion before me, other than the motion for the loan.
The motion raised by Honorable Karim Masaba, Right Honorable, under Rule 67, which says a motion for adjournment of debate. A member who wishes to postpone to some future date further discussion of a question which has been proposed from the chair may move a motion. Right Honorable Chair, I stand to support the motion that we close this debate to borrow the matter be adjourned.
Those are two motions. There is a motion for closure of debate, and then the motion for adjournment. So which one are you? Should we process?
For adjournment of the motion.
So you move properly. Move properly if you want.
Right Honorable Speaker, and honorable members, I second the motion that we adjourn the debate of borrowing euros 1,068,976,035 euros from the UK Export Finance and Citibank for the development of solar-powered irrigation system project phase 2. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Honorable Betty, please be kind to yourself and to myself. And please, do we want to have a parliament that we can be proud of? Do we to follow the rules. And this is what we are doing. When you follow the rules, you allow the rules to speak louder than you. You cite one rule, and everybody is disarmed. But here, when you go in circumventing, you become something else. I want to be a speaker of a parliament where when a member gets to speak, he cites the rule. I will be proud of that, to make that ruling. And now I had decided that we do this side, but seems like from what is going on, let me get now this side. Or I should dispose of. Let me dispose of the motion put by Honorable Who, that we should not continue to. You are not even following a motion. Please, don't push me to the wall. I want to be a very good speaker of very good members of parliament. Because a good speaker makes good members of parliament. But also good members of parliament make a good speaker. So when you will get to know me, when we play along, you will get to know me. And this one has come too early to test us. Let's do this, and we do it very well. So I want to put a question to the motion moved by Honorable Masaba Karim, that we should suspend debating on this matter. And so those in favor of that motion, say aye. To the contrary, say nay. The nays have it. So we continue with the motion for the borrowing, and the nays, I said the nays have it. I said the nays have it. For the record, the nays have it. The nays were louder. Unless you want to. Please, can we get seated? Let me go this side.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Julius Nachi. I'm a member of parliament for Budadiri East.
Honorable Julius.
In Sironko district. I'm contributing to this debate.
Okay.
Now, Honorable Speaker,
please.
Why do we need to borrow?
Please,
One.
Please, let's allow the speaker to pick you. There will be no difference between the Malwa group and the parliament if everybody speaks. For now, you are forgiven.
This is my first time, of course, in parliament, so I've known the rules now. I'm supporting the motion moved by the Minister of Finance. Why? I need to add the justification to what he moved. You see, I've been reading the budget of Uganda. 44 trillion is what we are going to raise from our domestic revenue, URA. 1.4 is from oil revenue, making it the 45.4 trillion. Now, that money that we collect as the Pearl of Africa, it can only fund two things. One, paying our debt, 33.6 trillion, and two, Ministry of Defense, 10.2 trillion. Meaning, all of us here as a country, we can only fund two items of our budget. The rest, including our salaries, whenever we go to get salaries in the bank, we are getting borrowed money. Whenever you see people going to school, whenever you see a road in your village, we are using borrowed money. Whenever you see any activity taking place in Uganda, we are using borrowed and also donations. So, no, this is now based on the figures. This is now real mathematics. It is not just science. Because our budget is 84 trillion. 33 is going into debt. 51 is what is going to be left for public service and whatever. Now, we are raising 44 trillion in revenue, meaning we have a deficit of about 38 trillion. Where do we get it? It has to be through borrowing. But what do we do now? The Minister of Finance needs to come up with a strategy of increasing our revenue, local revenue. Now, our debt to GDP ratio currently is 13%. If it moved to 30%, we would be able to finance our budget 100%.
Okay, Honorable, thank you very much. Let me have the Minister of Agriculture. You know value for water, for irrigation. Yes, Honorable Frank.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I really didn't want to debate for the sake of debating. I tried to listen. But I wanted to make a humble appeal to colleagues. I want to thank the Minister of Finance for prioritizing financing for irrigated farming. Colleagues, we stand at below than 2% of our irrigation uptake. We didn't mind in the past putting so much investment in irrigation because God had given us our two guaranteed predictable weathers. We would experience quite often bump harvests of most of our crops. But now, crop failure is predictable. It's more predictable than actually crop yield. So I hear the issues of colleagues, the procedural concerns, the need for scrutiny. I appeal to you to make an exception, prioritize, and
The Voto's acne removal effortless precision with a simple slider. Navigate to blemish removal and select freckles acne. Use the sub-slider to seamlessly remove acne from your photos. Experience a 10x faster editing workflow with the Voto for professional photographers. Voto, the most efficient AI photo editor.
I beg to appeal to you colleagues that we've just finished the U-Gift program implemented by the agro-industrialization program, Ministry of Water, Ministry of Agriculture. When you go to your ministry, your villages, you've seen farms funded, U-Gift, phase 1. They are quite a number. The issues you point out are critical. Ministry of Water should take note of them, Agriculture should take note of them, Ministry of Local Government should take note of them because that's where the staff that identify farmers are resident. OPM takes note of them, they monitor government. Just let me finish my submission. Allow me to finish my submission. Just for your benefit. Yes, it's my right to take it or decline it. So I appeal to you colleagues. We can do a lot of filibustering with the rules, but the farmers want an answer. The answer is stability of their farming. And stability does not lie in anything else. We've given them money through PDM. Money alone will not support soil health. We must put water in the soil, and you do so through irrigation. I therefore support the motion.
Thank you. Honorable Namara. Dennis.
Thank you so
This
much.
way and, yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. On the onset, I want to say that I support the motion because irrigation is the only way to go. You can talk about the percentage of the loan being a bit higher, but what are the repercussions of global warming? What are the repercussions of climate change? What are the repercussions of hunger? I'm a farmer myself. I deal with the farmers at the village level. So it is very, very important. If you look at our irrigatable coverage right now, 0.5. Burundi is 1.6. Kenya 3.6. We're still below. It is very critical. As we talk now, people's crops are drying. As we speak now, people's crops are drying. So the analogy and the argument of saying technicalities have not been followed, I would want to request you, honorable colleagues, let us support the motion and get water for irrigation. Some of you are members of Parliament of Kampala Road. You may not know in the villages are going. I beg to submit another speaker by supporting the motion.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Bahati. Well, there are so many. Yes, and I allow us. Honorable Bahati, 2 minutes. Then Honorable Bangura will come and yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues. I rise to support the motion of approving a loan to implement solar-powered irrigation schemes in our country for two reasons. One, support our industrialization drive. Secondly, support our exports. As we speak now, Mr. Speaker, we have secured markets for coffee and cocoa in different countries. We have secured markets in China, in Serbia, Algeria. But we are facing a challenge of capacity of production to export to these markets. And the reason why we are facing it is because of seasonality of the production of these crops like coffee. So this particular project will help us to guarantee production all year through to be able to meet the markets that we have secured. Secondly, we have been talking about agro-industrialization. Agro-industrialization will need production of these products. So this project, and I've seen the report of the previous performance, this is phase 2, colleagues. The work has been done on irrigation of this particular project. So I want to implore you, honorable colleagues, that approval of this project will support industrialization, will support exports of our country, and will support the development of our country. And therefore, I support this motion. I yield the floor.
Then we'll follow by Honorable Kefa.
Thank you very much, Right
Honorable
Honorable Speaker.
Nankabiro. Those are all Honorable Nankabiro and then we see how we go. Yeah. I've come back this way. There's one person here.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to also support the loan. And Right Honorable Speaker, from the parliamentary perspective, it is important we get institutional memory. I've been one of those who was overseeing this first phase. And I want to inform you that the challenges that we encountered in first phase, notwithstanding others, is the scope. We're actually having so many of our people who are interested in getting their land irrigated. The scope has been small. Here today we've been told it is going to move from 11 acres and moving towards 20. The communities out there are expecting more. The rain patterns have disappointed us. It is high time we stood as a house, supported this loan such that we can improve on the livelihoods of our people. I also want, Right Honorable Speaker, to request that this time the Ministry of Water, through the contractor, I mean through the consultant, should supervise the contractor for us to achieve timelines in terms of delivery. The other loan could have had its own problems of a bit of delays here and there, but it is high time we moved. We are moving from 434 irrigation schemes in the last ones of phase 1. We are now coming to 427. In fact, what we'll be talking about here, how can the government request other development partners there, including maybe the one that Honorable Masaba was talking about, to come on board such that we widen the scope and make sure that we get many of our people captured and supported by these irrigation projects. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, they have listed here the beneficiary.
Honorable Kefa, then Honorable Nankabirwa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Then I will come here.
Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the motion. And if I had any doubt, I draw assurance from Honorable Muiru. He has said it's a good loan and a good project, which actually he also supports. His concern was with the audit. I think, Honorable Muiru, you know it. If there is a problem in an organization, audit query in an organization, you don't close the organization. You don't stop operations. Whatever the audit queries are, they have to be addressed. But that's a separate issue. We'll need the Treasury Memorandum, but that will be a separate issue. Then the second thing, there was Honorable Kirumira here. I mentioned that this is money from commercial from money lenders. Actually, it's a semi-concessional loan. Semi-concessional. It's not exactly concessional, but it's concessional. Normally, the concessional loans are up to around 3%. The interest rate on this one is 3.6%. The commercial bit is the one which is more expensive, but that is only 10%. So 90% of the loan is semi-concessional. And I also see this project actually as revolutionary. Actually, I've looked at the districts that will benefit. 126 of our districts will benefit. Over 700 projects, 700 sites will be involved. That's revolutionary, which I believe will help.
Thank you. Honorable Nankabirwa Ann, wait.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the motion to borrow. Right Honorable Speaker, as farmers, we are touched of how much loss we are undertaking because of the climate change. We can do mitigation, we can do adaptation. Irrigation is one way of adaptation to climate change. These days, you can experience rain in your compound when the other side of the house there is no rain. Those are effects of climate change. I do take recognition of what Honorable Masaba is saying about the issues. But I think there are two issues, or three or four. Approval of the loan is one of the things. We have been informed that we are time behind. I am seeing here 126 districts, including mine, including yours, of many colleagues here. Now, the issues to address, we can address them after approval of the loan, when we constitute the National Economic Committee. The Speaker can take cognizance of the issues raised by the members. For example, we can also raise some issues, Right Honorable Speaker. The cost. When you look at the 427 sites, that means that every site will take about 2 billion on average. When you look 10 to 20 acres, you realize that the cost is on average 100 million per acre. Those are issues Parliament can address after securing.
Thank you. That is Honorable, whom did I pick? The Honorable Nankabirwa. We can now come, Honorable Chavira, I gave you, and the side up. John Taylor. John Taylor after Honorable Javira. I gave him, but since he was still new, he was looking behind for the microphone, and somebody else took it. So,
thank you,
please.
Right Honorable. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, there is an image that is being painted that maybe one side of this Parliament does not wish Ugandans well in terms of agro-modernization, which is not correct. We are talking about having these loans that we have secured over time processed, used under the rules as guided, and to the satisfaction of the Ugandans who are going to pay, or to be able to pay, or to pay back this money through the tax they pay. Right Honorable Speaker, in the justification that the Minister presented, we have a list of conditions that is on page 8 a list of conditions that are supposed to be met for these sites that are being prepared to undertake this irrigation. But when you look out of the documents that the minister laid, there is no confirmation that these conditions have been met. There is no confirmation, for example, that the farmers have the coffee plantations that is at least 1 year old.
I know that is a maiden speech, but these conditions will be in the criteria for selecting beneficiaries.
Right,
not
Speaker.
Not for the loan now, but
right,
but you
Speaker.
have, yeah.